Hello and welcome back to the unfinished Swan. In the last episode, we cleared out the statue garden and we were introduced to the story of Monroe, the titular character for this very unique little game. So we actually managed to find a balloon which I had been missing, so that's good. Alright, let's get back into coloring this out. A chandelier. Oh. Alright, let's see what we have. Okay. Well, it seems we have to... Unless there's a way back here. No, I wouldn't think so. But we can color it in nonetheless. Alright. So this is a one-way, meaning that once you... Oh! There's a balloon nearby. And I believe there's only two in this level, so that might be the one that I'm missing. Like I said in the first episode, this playthrough is not about 100%ing this game in any way. So if we don't get the balloon, it doesn't matter. I'm playing this for the sake of playing it and showing it off. The balloon is fairly close by. So I should be able to, especially because the balloon itself has color. The question is where it is at. Ah, of course. 9 out of 9. So that's all the balloons in the first chapter, which is this episode and the next one. Alright, so we don't actually have to look for balloons anymore. That's good. Not that I really was, but... Ooh, that looks rather painful. Well, I suppose this is a castle of sorts, so... weaponry would, to some extent, be expected. Okay. What is... so the swan went up there. Okay. Well, I can't jump that. What? Oh, yes, I know the gimmick of this. So essentially, this is a portal room that leads back on itself. Yeah, as you can see, it colors. We can even see ourselves shooting here. But there is a way to do this. So you see, and it even shows us here. So we have to actually get it off on this side because, well, that's the right way to go. And there's no such thing as fall damage or anything in this. There will be something later on where we are somewhat in danger, but, well, we'll get to that when we get to that. Can't be bothered to deal with it right now. Anyway, so we don't have to worry about fall damage and all such things. In that sense, this game is very chill. Okay, we are starting to get some other hues. And we're getting some different sounds. Now, in the garden, we have the sounds of butterflies, of frogs croaking and such. However, now it seems that we also have some sort of shading going on. Alright. I'm thinking we are about to get... Oh! So that sound was the door shutting on us. Alright. Well, I was finished back there. This game has a tendency to do a lot of those where it shuts off so that you have to progress forward. So backtracking isn't really an option, which means that you can easily miss the balloons the first time around. I've rarely seen anyone complete this game 100% with all the balloons, which is possible in the first playthrough. Alright, we got another story bit here.
The king's new subjects were tired of white. They were tired of tripping, of banging their shins, of misplacing their homes. So they started painting everything, ruining the king's spotless design. In response, the king outlawed all non-magical brushes and pledged to spend the next month painting shadows for his kingdom.
Well, at least he's taken responsibility for his mishaps. That's good. So, I don't know if it's the sound of the ocean or what it is, but it definitely sounds like there is something windy going on. Ah! And here we have the second scare, I believe. No? Oh, there you are. I think that whoa was Monroe talking about the sights. I guess it is fairly impressive with a sea monster of sorts. Alright, so now we begin to get a feeling of scale and of how things look. So you can see that's the white where we were before, which looks oddly different, and the shadows actually make a huge difference. We also now can see glass as a color. Black vases. So fairly linear so far. And since we don't have to... I don't think I... Oh. Well, that was a short... Can we get into the water? We can, but we can't stay there. Apparently Monroe can't swim. Alright, that's not a problem. Well, I said that I would make these in one episode per part, but 7 minutes for a part is a bit short. I don't think I can actually interact with that over there. Well, other than coloring it in. And maybe I can't even do that. Alright, well, but let's go the way that we can go. Okay, so here you don't actually need to throw anything because, well, you can see pretty clearly where you're going. Most of the time, at least. So the huge door would seem like something that you could interact with, but unlike the other door, you cannot. I don't know if it's explained why, but, well... There's also an achievement that I only got recently on a recent playthrough to get all the story bits. Now you might think that those are relatively easy to get as they light up with a golden T, or at least a golden capital letter, but somehow or other I missed one of them. I don't know how, but I did. You also get a feeling of how far you can actually toss those blots. Alright, well, it seems we have to go in here. I don't think... Don't think there is a point to this. And the door will shut behind us, I think. Yep. So you could easily just blot this over. And you can see here that there are... I think that's the castle that we're in. Sort of a mixture between a Disney castle and a more Middle Eastern design. I like it. It's very picturesque. And I love that little symbol with mustaches under with the mustache under the crown. So there isn't so much lore hanging around. This game isn't about that. Oh. I think that's a small unicorn. This definitely looks like Renaissance, perhaps even later medieval castles. It's cool. I like it. Can I get to that grating? Does not look like it. Well, now I can't even see it. So is this... Oh yes, this is actually where we've been. So this goes through where you come up from the pond and from the frog, and you go through the first courtyard and over the rooftops here and through the courtyard, eventually coming through. Oh, those are spots from above. I thought they were. I believe there was a point going up here, but apparently not anymore. Right. Okay. I think we've seen all that the atelier has to in store for us. Oh. A king painting a king painting a king with a white canvas. Ah, interesting. We can hear the swan doing whatever it's doing. There's a lot of books there, but again, this isn't a game about lore. Wow. So we weren't in the castle. Oh. And there's the swan, but he's out of our reach for the moment. Let me just grab some coffee while we're at it. Well, I expected that to happen, also because, well, I have played this game before, so... Alright, what do we have? So we have nothing... This is where we came from, yeah? So that looks like a very, very large labyrinth. And it seems that we have to go down and get into it. Can I throw blocks into it? Yes, it would appear that I can. Alright. Well, it's a good thing that we have a way to mark our progress so that it would be easier to get around. Okay. Oh, there's a staircase going down. Right. Before we do that, though... Ha! Okay. Is this another story bit, or... Oh, it is. Let's try turning left here. I think it's actually, even though it looks fairly large and rather scary at the point being. So, Obviously, you'd have to walk around this to find all the balloons. Now, right now, I don't remember where all the balloons were or are. So I wouldn't expect you to be able to use this as a guide, but we're definitely going for some exploration here. Now, we could just go straight for the story bit and be done with that. But I kind of like exploration, and this is a moment of this game where you are, if not allowed to, then sort of, the game is sort of egging you on to, hey, maybe you should check this out. And I think that's really awesome. That's a good way to make exploration happen naturally in a game, at least in my mind. Alright, let's get this story bit then.
The labyrinth was designed to be beautiful, and it was. It was not designed to be practical, and it wasn't. Whole families got lost for weeks at a time, mail took months to arrive, and many worried a labyrinth of this size was bound to attract dragons. Eventually, the complaints grew so loud even the king couldn't ignore them.
So even though the king is the ruler, he is not a tyrant in that he doesn't listen to his subjects. Sort of semi-political commentary on a lot of things. Alright, well, we're not done exploring. Oh, that's where we came from. Alright, let's go through here. Ooh. Without shadows, this would have been very daunting. Whoa, I was closer than expected. There's something back there? Yes, I think so, but it may just have been a splatter that I shut off. Alright. I think we've about explored this path. That's good. Knowing where you've been is a good way to... See, this game could have been just walking around a labyrinth all the time with this mechanic, and it would be just fine, because, if anything, this mechanic is suited for this kind of gameplay. Obviously, that would be boring. And while there are some puzzles down the road that gets a bit labyrinthian in nature, this is the only actual labyrinth in this game. Other than that, it's actually pretty linear. So, we've actually outdone our exploration. So, let's head to the paintbrush and go on from there, because that is actually the way to go. I think splats carry through from the other side of walls. At least that would explain why they suddenly appear like this. Okay, we could just go straight to the gate, but again, exploration, exploration, exploration. Is there a corner there? I think so, yeah. Alright. And the same would go for in here, obviously. Oh, no! Well, and there isn't any sprint button. There's the only thing that Monroe can do is to jump and to throw ink at this point. Obviously, when you complete the game and obtain more balloons, as you saw in the first episode, we are able to obtain more advanced techniques and advanced toys, so to say, that allow us to do more stuff. For example, you can add the automatic ink gun, I believe it's called, which is essentially your paint thrower on speed. Makes a whole lot more mess, but also makes it much easier to hit faraway balloons, as it does shoot with more power. If that's what you fancy. This game is basically means for everything, whether you want exploration or whether you want something more sophisticated. I really like that. Alright, let's up. I think we should be getting to... Woo! I did not think we'd get up this high. Well, we did. Alright. Ooh, how does the Swan? Let me just go read this story a bit first. Oh.
The king was so frustrated with the messy, demanding people of his kingdom that he decided to start over. One morning he painted a boat and set off to find the perfect spot. He told himself he'd come back someday to finish what he had started, but of course, he never did.
A shame, but ultimately not. Oh. Yes, run away, Swan. Okay. Now we could just jump in the balloon, which is obviously want to, as you can see by the coloring. But, well, there's an opportunity. Oh. So that's down where we started the labyrinth. How did we get up here? Oh, so this only... I think there is a balloon, essentially, the first time. So you could basically look back and see, well, there was a balloon. So you can't actually move the telescope from side to side, unfortunately. So that small clot of the labyrinth was where we were. Now, I don't know how the game explains that we get up here. Because this seems a bit of a fairly large way to travel. We definitely went up, but we didn't went that far up. And bouncing ink has never been as fun. Can I hit the... Yes, I can. Alright, well. Oh. So yeah, that's what happens if you fall into the water. It just transports you back. Alright, well, let's get on board. Whoop!
For the first time in weeks, Monroe felt good. He felt even better when the wind pushed him close enough to reach the Swan. He was feeling so good, in fact, that he forgot all about his fear of heights. But when the Swan wriggled free and Monroe fell over the side, he remembered almost immediately. That might have been the end of Monroe, if this were a shorter story, but it isn't, which is why Monroe's troubles were just beginning.
And I think that this will lead us to part 4. Yeah, so that has been the first chapter of The Unfinished Swan. In the next episode, we shall tackle The Empty City and see how the Unfinished Empire chapter turns out. But until then, take care!